One of the things we love most is Christmas. But who loves Christmas more than us? Santa Claus. Now, most people celebrate Santa Claus without knowing who he is or where he came from. My name is Hanks-Posey, and today I'm going to be telling you the history of Santa Claus and how he came to be. One of the main things I'll be telling you today is the timeline of Santa Claus. The legend of Santa Claus, or otherwise known as with his other name as St. Nicholas, can be tracked back to 100 years ago. He was born in Adi Patra in Europe, around Turkey. The story goes that he gave away all of his inheritance that he got and used it to help the sick and the poor. One of his most famous stories is that he helped 3 daughters of a poor man and gave them a dowry that their father could not give them. Now, we know how Santa Claus came to be, but do we celebrate him according to the story is what most people wonder. The day of Santa Claus is we celebrate him on December 6th. This is known as Feast Day. This sets the standards of how we eat on Christmas and the stamina around it. They eat the same food then as we do eat on Christmas now, and they use the same proper manners. The date, though, was moved to December 25th for baby Jesus due to poor favor of St. Nicholas across Europe. Farther along in the story, St. Nicholas' reputation was changed to a sidekick of Ruclaus, Acolina Claus, and Pels Nichols. This is how the saying of naughty or nice came about that we see posted all around, and how we know to be naughty or nice to get presents on Christmas. Now, you might think, if he had a bad reputation, why do we still celebrate him now? Thanks to the poets and writers of today's time, Santa Claus's reputation changed. In 1821, an anonymous poem called Old Santa Claus with Much Delight was published and described Santa Claus getting pulled by a reindeer. This is kind of how all of our songs and stories came to be by this poem, and how the story changed from Bad Santa Claus to Good Santa Claus. It was published with illustrations in a book called The Children's Friend, A New Year's Present to the Little Ones from 5 to 12, and it had the earliest pictures of Santa Claus. This is how we know him to be the chubby, red-cheeked, and white-bearded man that we know today. In 1823, we finally learned about the reindeer and their names, along with 1939, we learned about Rudolph, who we all love very much. This is how the songs of Rudolph and the stories of Rudolph came to be. This is how we know Santa Claus is now. Since you have learned about the story of Santa Claus and how he has changed very much throughout history, but wasn't recent until that we knew him as we now know him now. Now, after learning all this, I hope you all are inspired and act as Santa Claus or St. Nicholas has taught you, and be naughty or nice, according to whichever you would like.